was, you had to be very structured. You had to write against the margin, the left-hand margin.
That's true.
And it was only when I started doing my own investigations into poetry and different poetic forms that I realized, there are things called like concrete poetry, for instance, whereby the look of the poem on the page follows a particular shape. Like if you're writing about a football or a hand, you may lay out your poem in those shapes to just enhance the themes. So I tried to pay a lot of attention to that when I was writing the various aspects of the poem. So for instance, this one, I don't know if the camera can see it, this one invoked, I tried to lay out, this one is written from the point of view of Maria, the hurricane herself.
Okay.
So I tried to lay out the words in a very scattered, haphazard way, to try and depict some of those emotions. And one of the poems you read out earlier, Hypertonic, this one, I tried to lay that out very structured and ordered, like a tight container. So yeah, I tried to think about those things. The poem I was going to read was mudras, and this one is mudras are symbolic hand gestures, and that impact at different energy levels. And this poem looks at the different forms of communication, how we communicate as human beings. It's not only through our voice, it's through our body language, it's through our hand symbols. And sometimes, we can miscommunicate in that way as well. So this one is mudras.
That's true. Even with all these social media, we never understand each other.
Yeah, well, even the emojis and things like that are all new ways of communication as well. So mudras. The seventh day after the hurricane, we are all out of water. Through new word-vine communication, news flows of a source close by, and I go quick with my empty plastic pail. A young man, powered by self-motivation, stands sweating above a concrete tank. He has been dipping and filling buckets since early morning, his slender fingers blood-blistered. The afternoon heat beats hard, but he does not stop. I wait, my long line turn, worked hard hands resting, clasped loosely on sunken belly. He fills. The mood feels slightly heavy and muted, and I sense a still somber undertow, most hands by sides and most heads down. A dreadlocked woman holds fingers in front, shaped to me like a powerful portal. A visibly agitated man joins the line, hears a group chatting quietly ahead and points, yells loud. Dominicans should fill first before these Haitians. Commotion. Hands and voices raise and raise. Recently, I have been reading about the power of hand gestures. I come from a rich culture of wild gesticulation, and often we fluently body talk with a flowing, vociferous vocality of hands. The tired young man above the tank stands steady in his full raised height. He lifts straight up his middle finger to the man, gives him cut eye, snaps in Creole, "If you want water, shut up and wait your turn." We all nod.
Yes, perfect. Yes, every image came to my mind at that time. Yeah, so interesting. That is why we have to read your book. We are almost finishing this program, but please, what about your plans? I don't know if you want to tell me something before, of course.
One of the things I wanted to one of the things you mentioned was about the emotions in the poem, and I think it was just important just to address that. You know, poetry, you mentioned poetry writing for me is something that I find really cathartic experience.
Yes, that's what you said.
Yes, exactly. But it was really important not to make the poems, you know, too depressing. So I really wanted to add humor and things like that in the poetry. So I just wanted to bring that up. The fact that there were so many experiences, it wasn't all depressing, you know, trauma. There was love, there was togetherness, there was compassion, and there was a lot of fun too, you know, that we mustn't forget. So it was really important. So
that's the balance to keep going.
Exactly. Yes. There was a lot of hope, and you know, and it really highlighted human compassion and human community. So many people from other countries came to help us. And it was a feeling of solidarity, a feeling that we were not on our own to deal with the things that happened. So that was important as well in the collection. So,
let me tell you, Celia, because as Celia got all that experience after the hurricane, you are part of those groups of artists who decide to take some arts. For example, that Michael Lee with his documentary, what's his name, on Civilized.
Yeah.
That's and others, not only cinema, films, but documentary or exhibitions are.
And it's good that you mentioned that because especially now, yesterday was the anniversary of the passing of Tropical Storm Erica, I think. Yesterday, and we lost quite a few lives were lost in that. And you know, soon it's going to be.
Could you tell us when was Storm Erica?
It was 2015, I think. Yes, and yesterday was the actual anniversary. And you know, it's sometimes we record things via factual ways of filming, but I also think it's important to use creativity as a documentation means. And Adam Philigen, who has Dominican roots, I'd advise listeners to go and check out his Surviving Storms. It's on YouTube and our website as well. On Friday, there was a film showing of 6 films that were made called Creative Repair, and it's about how we can use creativity as a form of healing. And I don't want to say this lightly as if, you know, it's that easy to heal from trauma or anything like that, but I do think using creativity can be one of your self-care tools that you use, whether it be painting, writing, or whatever you choose. So check out Surviving Storms and the films, the Creative Repair films. As to other things that are going on, I think right now there's so many amazing and positive things happening on the Dominica creative scene. You know, you mentioned we still have the Nature Island Literary Festival Facebook page. So I'm always posting things that are going on there. You've got things like one of our writers, Anella Shillingford, she has got a new poetry collection coming out soon called Of Oceans and Rivers. So check that out. She's got a book launch coming up on the 4th of September, I think. Delroy Williams, who, you know, a lot of people know, is very, very passionate advocate of lots of different causes. And he's a writer himself. He has a book coming out. Kathy Casimir just wrote a book about her grandfather, Ralph Casimir.
All of them Dominican. Yes. I hope you have taking notes because.
Well, you can find, as I said, follow the Facebook page. You've got as well Alec Lazar. He just produced a book, an anthology of writings by writers of Dominica, and you know, and Ian Jackson has a book coming out. So It's a lot coming, and I have a new book coming out as well at the end of September.
You see, that's your plan. Wow.
Radical normalization.
Okay,
So yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment. So it's really exciting. So lots for you to dive deep into. Yeah.
A lot of material for deep into a Caribbean book. Listen, Celia, thank you very much. Really, I'm happy that you are part of our first program, Deep into a Caribbean Book. And I just want to thank you for your acceptance, of course, and to be here. And I hope you just go and get her book. If not, go to Celia's website and you can find all the information you need to more about her.
Yes. And thank you for this. Such a great thing to do. It's a really wonderful initiative, and I wish you all the best for it.
Thank you. And I want to thank you, of course, to Popular Press for letting me read the digital book. Thanks to Karina Sa, a Portuguese graphic designer. Thanks to Sign Miss Olmos from the promotional picture of myself. Thanks to Lily of TAP, a Dominican graphic designer, and the lady behind the camera, and Shara Stevens for marketing. Thanks to Mr. Andrew from NBS Radio Dominica. Thanks to ComC TV, especially to Lindsay George, for supporting me in this project. And thank you, the listeners, for being there. Bye. And cheers, please.
Thank you.
Cheers. Yes.